What kind of job puts a strain on our bodies? A manual job, because a manual job is one where we need to use our hands to do physically demanding things. You have to move stuff around, dig, lift heavy weights. On a farm you might have to operate a machine, sort things into boxes in a warehouse, or stack supermarket shelves and so on. So a manual job is different from most office jobs where you're basically finding, collecting, sorting, sharing or analysing data and information. Information is pretty light in comparison to boxes of fruit and vegetables. Manual is a very interesting word. Its root, and when we talk about the root of a word, we mean the basic unit from which the word is formed. Its root is the Latin word manus. The word manus in Roman times meant hand, and by extension strength. So that's the secret meaning of the adjective manual. It describes an action we do by and large using the strength of our hands. Hands up if you know what handy means. It's an enormously useful word. It means something is useful. It's also got the meaning of within easy reach sometimes, or close to your hands, something you can reach easily with your hands. So with the first meaning, we could say a sat-nav is a pretty handy device, and it's a useful device in other words. But we could also say, I don't have a sat-nav handy right now, so I'm lost. And there handy means within easy reach or close to hand. Another handy thing is a manual. Manual is a noun here, not an adjective. And what is that? It's a kind of book, a special kind of book, which tells you how to operate a machine. Before you start up your new washing machine, it's a good idea to read the manual first. Though if you're like me, you tend to start it up right away and then run for the manual to find out what you've been doing wrong when things start going badly. And again, the root of the word manual is manus, that word that the Romans used for their hands. In fact, sometimes we call a manual a handbook, which is just a rephrasing of the word manual into simpler non-Latin words. So, why is a manual connected with our hands? Aren't all books things that you hold in your hands? Well, actually in the past there were some enormously heavy books when printing first started that were not easy to lift, that only a professional weightlifter could easily pick up and read. So back in the early 15th century, when instead of the large kind of book there was a smaller version available, one even weak studious types could easily lift and handle, they called it a manualis. So, the secret meaning of a manual is a book that is small enough to carry or use, even in just one hand. Though actually a further hand link is that it does seem manuals tend to give instructions about things we do with our hands, like repairing damage done to washing machines by impatient first-time users. In the next podcast, we'll take a look at some more ways in which the Latin root manus helps us to better understand modern English words. And don't forget, if you're about to use a new dishwasher, keep your manual handy, just in case.